Hello and welcome to From the Heart of the City. It's a podcast about faith, hope, about radical hospitality, and about the life we share here in downtown London, Ontario, at the corner of Queen and Richmond. We are at the heart of the city with the city at our heart, and I want to welcome you. My name is Kevin George. One of the greatest gifts to St. Paul's over the last few years has been the growing number of newcomers who found their spiritual home here on this corner. Many have come from Africa, bringing with them faith, remarkable resilience, and a rich Anglican tradition that is reshaping our life together. That growth, however, doesn't come without a challenge. Many newcomers arrive in Canada full of hope. Many have been given great promises before they left home. They've been recruited to study or to work or to begin a new chapter of life. Yet the reality they encounter when they arrive here is often far more difficult and far different than they had imagined or have been described to them. Affordable housing is scarce. The cost of living is overwhelming. Professional credentials aren't always recognized. Many struggle to find meaningful employment, and loneliness can set in so quickly when family, friends, and everything familiar is thousands of miles away. Yet, despite those challenges, what I see here in our African community is that they persevere. They build lives, they strengthen neighborhoods, they enrich our churches, and they contribute immensely to our communities. One of the great joys of cathedral life is that we have an African fellowship that gathers here once a month on a Sunday afternoon, first Sunday of the month. And they worship in a way that feels a lot more like home. The singing is exuberant, there is dancing, worship unfolds unhurriedly. For more than 2 hours before everyone gathers around tables filled with jollof rice and fry rice, egusi soup, puff chapati, samosas, you get the idea, and countless family recipes. Those afternoons have reminded me of something very important. We sometimes speak of the Anglican tradition, particularly in places like cathedrals, as though it sounds like something that is the same everywhere. But it doesn't. Anglicanism has always taken root in local cultures, in local communities and languages. Nigeria alone is home to 17 million Anglicans. Just think about that. We're a fraction of that here in Canada. The Anglican Communion is a global family, and each part of the family reflects gospel through its own history, its own music and customs and rhythms of worship, and we're learning that here. At St. Paul's, we're discovering that we're not simply welcoming in newcomers to the Anglican tradition. When we greet our sisters and brothers, our siblings from Africa, they are helping us rediscover just how beautifully diverse the Anglican tradition has always been. And today's guest knows that personally. Obiageli Oragalum is from Nigeria. She came to Canada in 2023, and since arriving, she's completed her Master's of Theological Studies at Huron University while building a new life here in London. Today, I'm going to speak with her about the courage it takes to pick up and leave home and to begin again, the realities of being a newcomer to Canada, and the hope that can be found through faith, through community, and through belonging. I think you're going to love this conversation. I'm delighted to welcome Obiageli Oragalum. Obiageli, welcome to From the Heart of the City podcast.
Thank you, Dan.
It's wonderful to have you with us. Thank you for agreeing to do this. It's a real honor for me to have you come and join us on the podcast.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here too.
Okay. So look, let's begin back home. This podcast, this particular episode, what I've shared with our listeners is that what we really want to do is give folks a little bit of what it's like to have to leave your home and come to a new place and start over. So let's start back in Nigeria. Tell us about home, where you grew up. Tell us what home was like for you.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Back home, I grew up in the western part of Nigeria, which is one of the biggest cities in Nigeria, that is Lagos State. And I was working as an internal auditor with a health firm. I'm a single mom, so for over 10 years. I raised my son all alone then in Nigeria. Back home, home was a place where you're surrounded with families, friends, and there's always someone to someone around you to help you. There's always someone around you you can always reach out to when there's an issue. It was very easy for me, or not too easy, but at least it was a little bit lighter raising my son because I had a lot of people around me to assist my family, my friends, my neighbors. So, and I started by being working with children. I started as a teacher. Then when I got back into the university, I switched to becoming a customer care associate. Then from there, after my graduation, I became an auditor in a health firm. So it has been from one level to another level in life, and then I kept growing. Like I came to a certain point, I felt okay, I'm almost where I should be in life,
Mm.
and I was able to navigate a lot of things. It wasn't that difficult being with my son. Everywhere I find myself, my son has always been there with me.
Hmm.
So I saw him as one of my greatest achievements in life, having him in my life. And I'm not the type of person that has so much friends around me, but I always my faith was the center of my life back home. My
Mm.
faith, I belong to a church. Back then, as a minister, I was a Bible study teacher. So people always say, if you don't stay up here at home, you will find that in the church.
I bet. Yeah.
I was always that
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
everything about me. I love serving God. I love helping people. I was volunteering with an organization that was helping out widows and children.
Hmm.
So I just that was just a part of me that I miss right now because I was able to touch a lot of lives, especially
Sure.
kids back home.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, so you miss it.
Yeah, I do miss it.
What do you miss the most about back home in Nigeria?
What I miss most of back home in Nigeria is the things I was doing in Nigeria, like
Yeah.
the ministry, of course, the opportunity I had ministering to people, the opportunity I had reaching out to people and serving, especially in organizations where I have to help the less privileged.
Hmm.
I miss that so much back home. Like
Yeah.
I just love it. Was every time you see me, I'm always doing one thing or the other, trying to help someone. So
Yes. So, so at some point you decide you're coming to Canada. Um, what provoked that decision, and what were you hoping for when you came here?
when I decided to come to Canada, I was hoping for a change because at some certain point, like especially after the election of 2023, and a lot of Nigerians were disappointed with the president that came in. So a lot of things were just not self-satisfying again to me. Like I felt I wasn't going to get to that level I wanted to be in life.
Hmm.
So I thought, and I wanted to also further my education to my master's, my PhD, and the rest. So I
Hmm.
felt bring bringing myself out of that place into a new country was is what I needed, and I also wanted to give my son a better life,
Hmm.
life that I felt would, when he in the nearest future, he will be proud of.
Hmm.
So those are the things that
That you were
motivated me
hoping.
in living. Yeah, those are the things I was hoping for.
Now, tell me, like, what has surprised you most? Having, if you go back to 2023, you arrived in Canada. What's been most surprising for you?
The most surprising thing to me was starting all over again. Like
Yeah.
I felt I started from the scratch all over again, career wise, financially, everything. I started from the beginning
Yeah.
because it's like moving from one point to another point. And
Yeah.
they are saying you can't grab those life you had in Nigeria back here. So coming here, I needed to start from the bottom
Yeah.
to grow again. So was one of the stuff because I was thinking that when I come, I would just get a job immediately,
Yeah.
or going to school and just continue with my life. But no, it wasn't like that.
No.
I
Now,
have to,
am I right when I say there are recruiters back in Nigeria who sort of talk about coming to Canada and sort of make it sound like it's a bit like the promised land?
yeah, sure. A lot of people when they travel, um, they make people believe that oh, the moment you're here, you're in the promised land.
Yeah.
Like
You
the moment you get there.
that's not been your experience, to be clear.
No, that's not been my experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, though, I've had a whole lot of experiences that have made me grow,
Yes.
and deep inside of me, I still feel that was the best decision I took being here
Even
because
with
I'm not that person. Yes, life has its own challenges, and I. What if I was back home and
yeah.
probably things got worse? So life, and for you to get to some certain level of life, you have to face those challenges that come. So those challenges are not there to bring you down. They are
Yeah.
there to help you grow and become a better person. And I am a better person today because of the experiences I've had in this country.
That's wonderful. Now, a lot of people in Canada here, Obi, they don't realize how difficult those first few months can be, how hard it is. What were some of the biggest challenges you would say that you and your son faced when you arrived?
Okay. One of my biggest challenges I faced was number one, financial challenges. To,
So
at first,
money,
yeah,
financial challenges. Yeah.
yes. When I came in, I didn't come in with my son immediately. I came in and I stayed up with my sister
Okay.
for a few months, and she has her own family, and you know how it is, how it works there. So I had to move
Yeah.
to get my own house, and then get into school. That was when I now brought my son over.
Okay.
And one of the biggest challenge I had was financial challenges, getting a job.
Yeah.
There was a time I was actually practically walking around the whole city.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere I go in, I'm looking for a job, like any job. Let me just work and able to earn something to take care of my son.
Yes. Yeah, it's hard. And what I'm hearing a lot from a lot of the folks who come here from African diaspora is, they think when they get here, it's going to be get a job, you get a nice place to stay, but it's not quite like that.
But
Jobs are scarce. You taught that too.
That
You taught that, yeah.
was going to happen when I was coming, but
Well,
it's really not that way.
one of the biggest
Everything
challenges.
has a process.
Yes, that's right. And, one of the biggest challenges is the housing piece, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, on the whole, we've learned across Canada in our big centers, and certainly it's true here in London, that housing is very difficult. And you've had some difficult situations because of housing. And without talking about anything that makes you uncomfortable, I wonder if you'd be willing to tell a little bit about your journey into finding a place to live.
Yes, sir, I will. Okay. At first, one of the places I lived was, first of all, I had to put up with friends. When I moved from my sister, I put up with some friends outside London, not even in London. Then I came back to London. I was able to secure a room in a townhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
So this, when you
you
say a room, you're talking about a bedroom?
yeah, just one bedroom in
Just
a
one bedroom.
townhouse.
And this is
Yeah.
for you and your teenage son?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there were other people living in the town. Everybody had their own room.
Mm.
Everyone, like, they rent it in rooms. So I had one. I was staying with my son when he came over. It wasn't easy. It was
No.
not, my son is turning 17 soon, so, and it wasn't easy living with him in one room. And the bed was, I think, it was a double bed, not even queens or king. It
Yeah.
was a very small bed. So we both had to be squeezing ourselves in there at night.
Hmm.
and it was not a good experience.
No.
At some point, I felt it was affecting him. Him coming from home, probably telling I don't know what he must have told his friends, oh, I'm going to Canada, and coming here, and it's not what he expected. He has to
No.
manage a small bed with the mom in a very small room.
Very hard on a
So
young man. Yeah.
yeah, it was affecting him. So he, at some point, he was like as if he was fighting back, like he was just reacting right. So that was when I decided, okay, I have to. Then I was able to get few jobs I was doing, and I said, okay, I'm going to get a bigger space for us to stay, at least where he will have his own bedroom.
Yeah.
So I knew it wasn't going to be easy. So that was when I got a basement. It's meant to be a two-bedroom basement, and the place I got, I was taken advantage of
Mm.
because when you rent a place, you're supposed to be given a lease agreement,
Hmm.
and when I rented that place, I wasn't given any. The man just gave me a letter stating that I'm renting a two-bedroom. And most of us, we are ignorant of some of these laws,
Hmm. Yeah.
and we don't know how important it is to have that agreement because that's what is giving you an edge. That is what is protecting you while you're living there.
Hmm.
So that was how I got living there with the letters he gave me. That's so every time he asked me where's your lease agreement, that's what I felt was my lease agreement.
Yeah.
I had a whole lot of experiences there, which I might not want to air here,
Yeah.
but a
Mm.
whole lot of experiences. And
Fair to say you were taken advantage of.
yes, I was taken advantage of because at some point, whenever I complained about some things I'm experiencing in the house, he would tell me, I'm doing you a favor.
Hmm.
Like I kept wondering, how can you be doing somebody who is paying you rent
Hmm.
a
Yeah.
favor? So how does that work? I have my list of agreement which you gave me to. I thought it was an agreement. I've never missed my payment. So how? But it was at the end when issues came. I had to get some people involved. That's when I knew that the letter he gave me does not
Yeah.
protect me in that house at all. So I was taking advantage of living there.
So why would you say like I mean having been somebody who's come here vulnerable, why do you think newcomers are so vulnerable? Like what creates that vulnerability, you think?
What creates the vulnerability is when when you're ignorant of something, because if you have knowledge of some things, you will not become vulnerable to someone.
Right.
But when you don't know those things, and as a new immigrant
Yeah.
trying to find my path and give myself a better life,
Hmm.
I didn't try to get the knowledge I was supposed to have in
Hmm.
taking some certain decisions. And that made me vulnerable to a lot of things, especially in that housing issue. At some point, I went into depression, because I didn't know what to do. I didn't have the financial capability at that point to just say, wake up in the morning and say, okay, let me take my son out of here because it became a nightmare to him.
Yeah.
And so I feel the ignorance of knowing the right laws in this country is
Hmm.
what will make most of us become vulnerable to these people who take advantage of immigrants.
Yeah. And I mean, one of the things that I've witnessed over the years in this city, and certainly when I was in Windsor as well, sometimes, it's the last people you expect to take advantage of you because
Yes,
for a lot of new immigrant communities, the first people they reach out to are people who come from wherever they've immigrated from. And what's sad is in a lot of cases, those are the folks taking advantage because they know that you don't know,
yes,
that you're ignorant of the law, right?
yes,
It's just very disappointing. I mean, and that rings true for you as well, yeah.
yes, because it's someone that I felt would never do that to me.
Hmm.
It's someone I already had a relationship with over months. because my friend was already living there, which to him, he felt he was doing him a favor too. Somebody who is paying you rent, and he gave him that same letter.
Yeah.
So it's not just us. A lot of people are victim of that.
People are getting sucked
Gives you
in.
that letter, gives you a cheaper rent, and to him, he's doing you a favor.
Yeah.
So I feel that shouldn't be done. That's not right.
Well,
and I was so disappointed because it's someone I already know and I respected a lot.
That's right. And I mean, look, the number of stories I've heard since I've been downtown here and I've come to know so many in the Nigerian community, well, not just Nigeria, but certainly Kenya, Uganda, so on, is that, the number of single parents sharing a room with their kids, sharing a room with somebody else and their kid, like it's a lot for people to manage. And I'm happy to say you have a place of your own now. Yes.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And you've moved in and you're comfortable, I hope.
Very comfortable.
Good. Let's shift gears a little bit and talk a little bit about the church and the church's role. What difference can a local church make for someone who's arriving to a new country like this? How can we as a community here at St. Paul's, or someone listening to this who's in a church community and there's newcomers coming from around the world, how can the church be helpful?
The church is, to me, the family. The first family you have to find when you get to a new country. And for instance, myself, when I came in, I went to some churches, and it's like a community where the church is like a community where you find people that are there to help you to put you together. Like, leaving home, leaving your friends, your family. When you get here, you feel all alone. And I always advise people to find themselves in the church. Just find a church and belong there. It is the first community, the first family that I advise people to have. My experience belonging to St. Paul's Cathedral, which is my family, it has been very supportive. The love I received from there, the people there, not just the Africans, the whites, it's somewhere that whenever I go to, I feel like as if I am home. This is home to me. And there's this love that we share. There's this being able to, there's always someone that is ready to help you. There's always someone that is ready to get you out of that problem. And whenever I, like, for instance, when I started having this apartment, the house issues, and I reached out to you, Dean. At the moment I did that, I felt like, okay, I am safe now. I know that my church is backing me up. That's the first community, the first family that you should have, because it will help you stand. It will give you a support. It's like as if they are shoulders for you to lean on, being in a new country. So I see the church as my home.
So you said something really important there, I think, when you talk about that business of, and this is one of the things that we're learning about our African siblings when they come here, is what the first thing you do is look for a church. I mean, where for folks who live here or grew up here, church is not as important as it is to you guys back in Nigeria, for instance.
Yeah.
So when you came here, and as you say, you went to different churches, you arrived at St. Paul's, was there a moment when someone extended hospitality to you that helped change things for you, where someone offered you some hospitality that made a difference?
Yes, there was moments like that. Like when I was going to Dominion City, which was more populated with Nigerians. The pastor there, Pastor Nike, the moment I started going there, he took me as a sister. He told the whole church that I was the sister, because he noticed I was always on the quiet side and I was trying to navigate a whole lot of things. So most times I call him, he was the only one I could trust. And he was always there to help me, give me the advice I needed, and help me resolve every issue that I was having at that point. Because as long as you're new in this country, you're going to face a whole lot of challenges that you might not know how to solve it. And you need someone who already knows, who is already in the system. So while I was there, I felt at home. I felt like I was going to that church till like when I started school. I started going to Huron. So what took me to St. Paul's was I wanted to go to the Anglican church because back home I grew up in an Anglican church. So at some point I started going to Pentecostal churches, but it was my foundation. So I wanted to go back to that foundation where I belong. That was what brought me to St. Paul's Cathedral. And when I got there, I loved the place. And we had this African community. We do this. We usually do African fellowship. So the experience I had with the church is one of the best experience I've had coming into this country, belonging to a church. And that's what I always advise anyone who comes to me. I've had series of friends who reached out to me, like maybe they are new, and I'll tell them, find yourself a church to belong. I believe that when you're there, you're going to get every support that you need from this
Well,
church, from that place.
it's the body of Christ.
Yes, it's the body of Christ.
Yeah. So I'm going to have you say something about the African Fellowship here in a bit, but before I do, I just want to say a word to the listeners about what I noticed, which affirms what you just said, which is folks who were Anglican back home, Nigeria, Uganda, Ghana, they come here, they come in, they were so excited, so excited. And, oh, Mr. Dean, Mr. Dean, there's all this respect for the Dean, which me, me, I'm very sort of low key, but everybody's like, just like, oh no, Mr. Dean. Yes, Mr. Dean, Mr. Dean, Mr. Dean. And I remember a couple of occasions where people, before they experienced the worship, they were like, oh, I found my home. This is my home. And then they got into the church and I looked down at their faces and we're about 30 minutes into our, sort of choral English mass. And I could just see the face, dropping. And then it was all over in an hour and 15 minutes. And it was all sort of English choral music, which is beautiful in its own right. But I could just see their faces change because they don't recognize this as Anglican. Anglican back home is different. And I would notice that they would go to, Dominion City or a Pentecostal church or, a whole variety of different African evangelical churches here in town, but they'd come back once every few weeks or so to get communion and to be back into church. But in order to get that experience, that charismatic experience of worship, they would go to other things and then they would come here. So early on, I invited some of the African members to form a group and to start planning a fellowship where we could have an African communion, an African prayer and praise that would be similar to back home, where I could learn how to do these things, how it should go, right? And that's grown into quite a ministry. I mean, we meet the first Sunday of every month at 3:00, and there's food and there's worship, which is not rushed or hurried. We could be in there for 2 hours, and then there's jollof rice and chicken fry and hard chicken and egusi and et cetera, et cetera. And it's been an extremely beautiful thing for me to be a part of. But what has it meant for you, Obi? Like, what does the African community mean to you?
The African community. It's every day I wake up, I thank God that I was able to come in contact with that community. Like, it's one first Sunday of every month is something I look forward to. The African community is like a family. Like, every time we gather together to praise, to sing, to do it our own way, I feel like I'm back home. At that point, I feel like I'm at home. That I'm with my family at that point. So it's a program that it's a fellowship that really, really made me feel satisfied. Like
Mhm.
I felt, there's this joy I feel every time that we have to do that fellowship. And during the fellowship, people express themselves. Yeah, back home, the way we do our own service is different from
From here.
what, yeah, from here. So that's why most times, like you said, into the service, you look as if some people are looking down because it's not something we use. We
Mhm.
are used to music. Like
Yes.
during service, there have to be praises, there
Hmm.
have to be worship. People are given the opportunity to pray as much as they can. So that is the service we are used to. So during the African Fellowship is one time that I love so much because whenever we come together, we do it the African way. We praise God the African way in different African languages. We we express ourselves, and it's very fulfilling. I actually thank God for that every day, for that I'm part of that community. And it's it's one place that challenged me because yeah, back home I was into ministry, but I didn't really go into music, though I love singing, but I was more into teaching. So it was when I joined the African Fellowship. I remember Kunle was one person that challenged me into, oh, you have to leave this, you have to leave praises. I was like, no, 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 no. I would rather back up because it wasn't me. That was not me at all. But being there has made me grow spiritually, and
Well,
I
you
thank
you
God for that.
you bring an incredible joy, and your singing is absolutely beautiful, and you sing at every one of these, and you all politely put up with a very white, uncoordinated, uninspiring priest, who
Yes,
I'm glad you agree with that. Uh, uh, you guys are so tolerant of me, and you're teaching me, and I appreciate that. I and myself and Archdeacon Sam and the other clergy who've been fortunate to be a part of this, we've all seen the life in that community. And you and Sister Doreen and Ola Kunle who plays, it's been a real gift, and
yeah,
it's been it's I hope it's a gift to more than anything to those who are coming from back home, as you would say, from wherever it might be, Congo
yeah,
or Uganda or Kenya or Nigeria. And as Obi says, it's a very diverse. People think Africa is one thing. Africa is many, many different tribes and cultures
oh,
and
a lot
languages.
of I'm blessed to be there. That I've made a lot of beautiful friends like
Mhm.
Doreen, Dickie Phillips, like
Mhm.
Kweku, a lot of different African people, and it's just like a family to us
Yes, it is.
whenever we
And
come together.
and on Pentecost, actually, this year we did an interesting thing because we had I believe it was 18 different languages spoken here during church.
Yeah,
And many of them were from Africa, right? What was
yes,
neat is all 18 are found in the lives of people representing the cultures and languages of people who are currently members of St. Paul's. So St. Paul's is far more diverse sometimes than we think we are. Would you agree?
yeah, very well. I do agree.
Yeah. It's
I
a
do.
lot of diversity, and it's helping us to learn what Anglican is, because we have one idea of what Anglican is here, or at least that's what we've grown up with. What you folks have been teaching us is that Anglican means different things in different contexts,
Yes.
and the context that you bring. Now, tell me about coming to Huron College. You went to the college, you did a master's in theological studies, and you graduated with all kinds of honors and so on. I was there, I saw it. Your parents came. How was that? How did they find being here?
Oh, my parents were so excited. They were proud.
I bet. Yeah.
My
Tell tell me
okay, go
about tell me about finding the college and about what your life there was like for 2 years, and where you hope to go with this.
okay. My for 2 years I was in Huron. It was a very challenging time to me. Like you think you know it, you think you know so much, but at the end of the day, you find out that you don't even know. anything about the
Mm.
Bible. One of the things that made me go into Huron was like I've always had this thing to know more about God. I feel like I've always felt that there's more to God that we don't know,
Mm.
because it's the only time we sit down in the church, we hear the word of God. So I had this thing in me to keep. I wanted to learn more about God, to know more how to relate with Him. That was one of the things that made me like look into going to Huron to do my master's in theological studies. And it was a very challenging time. Imagine doing 20 courses in masters in 2 years, and each of those courses you had to write a research paper. There's always a research topic you need to look into. And so my time there, I grew both in every way, academically. And one of the things that I loved so much was being in class with people from different religions, people from different backgrounds. Like I got to know a lot about even the Muslims, things that I never knew. And I found out that God is bigger than the way we say Him.
Mhm.
God is deeper. He's the way. There are people serve God in different ways, different
Mhm.
from how we serve God. And it was a very sensitive time in my life. I had to be strong in my faith. I needed to know who I am. I didn't just want to pass through Huron. I wanted to leave a footmark. I wanted to come out with a very, very good grade.
Mhm.
And each each journey was like each semester I did like 5 courses.
Mhm.
So when you see me then, I'll be looking so stressed because I don't sleep at night. But I kept moving. I told myself, Obi, you're not just going to end it. You're going to end well, and you're going to come out there with a distinction. That
Yes.
was my focus from the day I stepped into that place. That I must come out here with being in the Dean's Honors list. So I kept, I kept striving, even when I had to look for a job.
Yes.
You are thinking of your house issues. You're thinking of a lot of things. Emma was there for me to take care of. So a whole lot of things, doing few hours job here and there. Like sometimes I will do like 4 jobs, 3 jobs, just to make sure, because you're limited to work for 24 hours. So get few hours from different places just to make sure you meet up to, and while still going to school. So it was very challenging, but I thank God that I had that experience. Huron built my faith. Huron made me stronger. Made me to know that more about God. I was able to understand a lot, especially in the Anglican Communion. That was one of the reasons I went back to Anglican, because I found out that I've always thought that Anglican is the same all over the world. But when I got here,
Mhm.
Anglican was
Very
different.
different.
Back home, women don't get ordained in the Anglican Communion because they feel that we are supposed to be under men. We
Mhm.
are not meant to be bishops or reverends or
Mhm.
so. But when I came here, the first thing that amazed me was when I saw Don David. She was a priest.
Mhm.
I was like, is this real in the Anglican Communion? So I got to, and that was the research I made there. I needed to know why women are not ordained in Africa, ordained as priests. I
Yeah.
wanted to know the reason. So that was the research paper I wrote. Women in in ministry. Why are women not ordained
Right.
in African Anglican Communion? I wanted to find out the reason, because studying the Bible, I got to know that everyone is equal. Like God does not call any gender specifically. He called everybody. Everybody is being called to serve Him. So why are women not allowed? Why are women limited in the Africa? And that was what made Pentecostal great. That was one of the things why I left Anglican back home, because I wanted to serve more. So I left the Anglican church because it was limiting what I wanted to do. I wanted to do for God. So I went into the Pentecostal church so that I'll have the opportunity to serve God. But coming here, I saw that liberty to serve God, even as an Anglican.
Yeah.
And I appreciate God for hearing every day for that.
So would you say, because I've heard this from other folks from back in Nigeria as well, that you've come to understand that some of the differences that because Anglicanism does root itself wherever it lands, but it roots itself in a culture. And so I wonder sometimes if these things are cultural. And we
Yeah.
make them we make them religious, right? So the conversations about human sexuality, about women and the role of women in the church, who can marry who, et cetera, et cetera. I notice folks come here, and after they've been here for a time and they see the flow and ebb of what living in the faith looks like here, those issues are left back home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of culture is one thing that has affected um, religion in Nigeria, especially in Nigeria, where I'm come from, because culturally at home, women are meant to be under men. They are meant to serve men. They are meant to. They even tell you that you need to kneel down to be able to serve your husband, and you have to cover your head. It shows that you are under a man. You are covering your head. So all those things, all those cultural beliefs, especially back then in Africa, is what affected their belief that a woman is not meant to be a priest. Even at this time and age, when I was doing my research, I spoke to one of the bishops, one of the popular bishops in Nigeria. I wrote a mail to him. I wanted to find out why women are not being ordained. And from his response, I just knew that we still have, it's going to be a long
It's a long way to go.
It's a long way to go because he told me flatly that women cannot be ordained as a priest because we are meant to be under the men serving in the church, that we cannot be on top.
So fair to say that this bishop is not too happy about the new Archbishop of Canterbury. I believe Sarah Mullally is a fine choice for Archbishop of Canterbury, and probably she may not be popular back in Nigeria, but I think she's doing great things.
Very well, she is.
Yeah. So let's just switch gears a little bit before we finish. Tell me, what gives you hope today? You've been in Canada for 2 years. You've got your new place. You've got your MTS behind you. You're thinking about the future. What gives you hope?
What gives me hope is that I believe that if I have gone through all those paths and those challenges and I'm where I am today, I can still get to the place I need to be tomorrow because every challenge makes you stronger. And the hope I have is that I'm in a country where there are laws that govern everything. It's a working system. It's not a stagnant system.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter the challenges that come, it's in stages. There's a time it will come. You know that you get over those challenges and those stages. And everything I have achieved with my certificates and my experiences and otherwise, I see myself getting to that height, especially in my ministry, where I want to be tomorrow, because I'm in a country that appreciates hard work. I'm in a country that appreciates service, that appreciates humanity. So that's the hope that I have.
Yeah, and I think the faith that you show and the hope you have in Jesus will get you there.
Yes.
What about your son? What dreams do you have for him as he builds his life here in Canada?
For Emmanuel, I hope that in the nearest future he will, because he loves technology. So he said he's going to go into IT. And also he said he wants to be a minister in the church. So he wants to counsel people, especially teenagers. Like, so I hope that in the nearest future, He will go to the university, come out with good grades, and become someone in Canada that didn't just live in Canada, but somebody who is in Canada and made impact in this
Yes.
country that will affect especially the teenagers, that will affect the people around him. Not just I'm not I don't want I'm not looking forward to seeing Emmanuel being that youth that is that they have to call me on the phone every day. Oh, your son did this, or he's not doing, or that will join the bad group. I want to see Emmanuel that will affect his peers, will affect people around him, will be able to use his life to speak to, because what he experiences now is what he should use to talk to people in the future. When he see a new child, maybe when he see a parent coming in with their children, probably he come in contact with those kids as teenagers in grade school, he'll be able to talk to them. Oh, this is what I went through. And I could remember when I had these house issues, one of the policemen I came in contact, he was an immigrant. So he told me, because I was looking so terrible, like I was feeling so bad. He told me, I understand what you're going through because I experienced it. And I just want you to know that it is just for now. The time will come. When my parents brought me here, it wasn't easy for them, but the time will come, things will be okay and you will be fine. And that was very encouraging to me. And that's the Emmanuel I want to see. If that young boy can speak to me like that, and I was encouraged, that's the Emmanuel I want to see in future.
Mm.
Not just become an IT guru, but also to become a very to become somebody who has positive impact in people around you, especially in
Yeah.
the church.
Yeah. You want a good citizen there. And here's the good news I need to tell you is you're both already making a great impact in Canada. You've already made our country better, both of you, by being here. So we're thankful for that. So let me ask you just two more things. Let's say it's a new family from Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Uganda, wherever, is arriving in London tomorrow. What advice would you give them?
What advice I will give to a new family if they are arriving is hold on to God, be strong in your faith, and then work hard.
A lot of hard
Like I
work.
said, be strong in your faith. For you to exercise that faith, you need to belong to find a community where you can have a family that will help you through it. But the most important thing is holding on to God. Because
Mm.
sincerely, I am where I am today because God held me. God carried me through it. It's not been an easy journey these 3 years. But God made me strong. I never thought where how I was in Nigeria. I've always been a soft person back home. I didn't like anything that would give me stress. I just avoid it. But coming here, I am a strong woman today. I am a strong woman, and
You sure
it's
are.
only God. Yeah.
Okay. And so on the flip side of that is, what would you say to Canadians about how we can be better neighbors to the newcomers?
What I can say to Canadians is love,
Well,
love everyone, love be helpful to these new immigrants because they're going through a lot. It's not an easy thing living the life you know before and coming to a new country to start all over again. So all you can give to that person is love and care. Be supportive because we are all one. There is no, in sight of God, everyone is one. So be supportive, love them, care for them, and help in the best way that you can. Do not take advantage of anyone because you feel you have the power to. Do not take advantage of this new immigrants. Do not use them to your own advantage, but love, care, and help the best way you can. Because each and every one of them is going through a lot. When you see us smile, it's that we just smile to put a face sometimes, but we are going
Sometimes
through
there's a lot hiding behind a smile.
a whole lot, a whole lot. And if everyone can be like you, I'm not saying it because you're here today, but if all Canadians are like you, I believe all immigrants will find a safe place here.
That's very
Because the
kind of
love
you
you
to
have
say.
shown us, the care, you listen to us when we have to talk, you help us through, you support us in every way. That is what I wish to see every Canadian do.
Mm.
Because that's all God wants us to do. There's nothing else. When Jesus was asked, what should I do to see the kingdom of God? He said, love. He didn't give so many commandments. He said, just love your neighbor as yourself.
That's right.
Do not make enemies of anybody.
Yeah.
Pray for your enemies.
Mm-hmm.
So all we can do is to give out love. And that is what every day I wake up, I try to give out as much love. Even in the things people don't know what I go through because I try to help people. And how will I now be calling somebody who is looking up to me, tell the person that, oh, I'm going through this or I'm going through a lot. So,
well, Obi, what you're saying is absolutely right, because I've seen that you guys who've come here with so much struggle, you're constantly giving of yourselves. You're so generous in spirit and time. And you're very kind to say that I've been helpful. But the truth of the matter is that I've been given far more by being open and welcoming to you folks than I could ever give to you. And so you've been a real gift to us. And I'm really grateful that you made time today. Obi Agili, Obi, I appreciate the time, and we wish you all the best. And thank you for spending time with us on From the Heart of the City.
It's my pleasure being here, Dean. It's an honor being in this podcast. When you told me yesterday I was going to be here, I still sleep all through the night because how excited I was. That was when you sent the message 1 p.m. I said, I am ready. Because I want my voice to be heard. I want people who are going through a lot to know that there is hope. Just believe in God, believe in yourself. Keep moving. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't regret. Life is not about regret. No matter the decision you've taken, grow above your mistakes, grow above your wrong decisions. Just keep moving and know that as long as you believe in yourself, and as long as there is a place that you're seeing positively, you're going to get there. I'm not even up to half of where I want to be in Canada. I have not even started. I'm just laying the foundation. I don't want to pass through Canada like every other person. I want a day where I would be able to speak out, especially to women, single mothers, widows, everyone who needs to hear my voice, to be strong.
Yeah. Well, you have
tears, but clean up your tears and keep moving. Don't stop. Just keep moving.
We have to keep moving forward. And you and all of the African Fellowship we have here at St. Paul's, you've shown us that we can prevail and that God is with us. And as I've said many times, you've taught me through your singing that God is a very big God. We have a very big God. That's my favorite, and it's my favorite because I think you pointed it out in the interview. For too long, we've made God very small, but when we, just think of the relationship that you did not have with Muslims back in Nigeria, perhaps, and a relationship you do have with Muslims here now in studying at Huron. Or, as you said, just the thought of women who've influenced you in ministry since you've been here. God is a very big God, and there's all kinds of people out there trying to put God in a very small box. But one of the things that you guys teach us so well is that God is a very big God. So I want to thank you again and wish you all the best in all of your endeavors.
Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you.
Well, that was a great conversation with Obi Agili. She is a remarkable person who has worked incredibly hard to make a new life here in Canada. And as you could hear, she, along with her peers and those who've come here with her, really love being here, and they love the country enough to want to be a part to continue to grow in it and to give to Canada. And just the hope she has for her son and so much more. So thank you, Obi, for making time for us today. Thank you all for taking time to listen or watch. I pray you pass this on to your friends and family. Subscribe and like us and share, rate us on your favorite app so that we can continue to get this out to as many people, as big an audience as possible. And next week, I look forward to sitting down and talking with Grace Ji-Sun Kim, who is a native of London, Ontario, or grew up here, I should say, immigrated herself from Korea, and is now a wonderful public theologian who's written a great book called Earthbound, among many others that she's written, and we're going to chat about that next week. So be sure and look back here for us wherever you get your podcast. It's been a real pleasure talking with you all today from right here in the heart of the city.
The hearth is warm, the ale is poured. The whispers of ancient tales are roared. Feet are tapping on the floor.